Hello everyone, I'm Coyote Jack, and well, considering what's going on with Japan in the entertainment sphere, especially since anime is going in not a good direction if they are listening to podcasts like this. So it was reposted by at Jorashi on a post from Automaton West states, anime is popular because it's different from Western entertainment and it already outsells American comic books. Trying to turn it into an American cartoon will do nothing but ruin the medium. And yes, because this article, anime is to Japan what Silicon Valley is to America. Japan's IP content has immense growth potential, but a quote unquote switch in mentality is needed to sell it globally. Famous fund manager suggests switch mentality, famous fund manager. Am I noticing something? Yeah, we know there is sabotage, man. Yeah, they are doing a psyop. Japanese media personality and fund manager Hideto Fujino discusses Japan's anime and IP content's investment growth potential for 2026. So we have more global homo terror idiots. Well, remove the part of terror, they are just retarded. Replace terror with retard. So you a global homo retard that is pushing for anime content to stop being Japanese. Yeah, and it has a Japanese name. So, major Japanese portal Bunshun Online recently interviewed Hideto Fujino, fund manager, outdoor media personality, and CEO on investment company Rios Capital Works on possible investment strategies for 2026. Aside from defense and AI related investment, the CEO emphasized that Japanese anime and IPs have the strongest growth potential, especially in the overseas market. They always had, but why are you saying that it's a novelty? Alright, it's because you want more investors. And you know, when it comes to more investors, you can bet where this shit is heading. In the interview, Fujino looked back on his recent trip to Brazil and Argentina, commenting on the enthusiasm he felt among overseas fans of Japanese pop culture. They know every single detail about Dragon Ball, Naruto, and Jujutsu Kaisen. They crave for Japanese anime. Why do you mention only the mainstream shonen? You didn't mention Sakura Card Captor. You didn't mention. I remember there was a Gundam series that got broadcasted, and Ranma Half, Inuyasha. You know, I again. Dragon Ball, I mean, it's obvious, but among the other examples, like, yeah, introducing Jujutsu Kaisen, yeah, that's current day mainstream. But you didn't mention the other tags. Just saying. Said they crave for Japanese anime. He said Fujino emphasized that this still an untapped market for Japan and that domestic entertainment and IP still have a lot of growth potential globally. With a major anime studios like Maka forming partnerships with global streaming services like Netflix and foreign investors acquiring significant stakes in domestic game companies, and that's how they're going to fall. They already covered how it is going to them. It seems like overseas businesses are actively eyeing on the Japanese content industry in recent years. Oh yeah, it's more speeding up the process to destroying it. At this point, you know, is what it's going to be. We tried to warn Japanese people years ago that do it yourself, but the corpus are dickless cocks and they are in favor of the globalist agenda. Just look at the CEOs in the gaming sphere showing their 2030 agenda pin in their suites. Look at this. And according to Fujino, more foreign investments and acquisitions could be a good thing. Ah, yes. Yeah, we don't need to read even further, man. We don't need to read even further with that shit. So yeah, do more exclusivities, sell your assets even more to foreigners. It's going to be fine, man. It's going to be fine. And even like this retard said, the CEO of Japan needs to undergo a shift mindset and embrace not just foreign capital but also foreign talent. What did I say? We knew it. We fucking knew it, man. We just needed to skip to the bullshit just to be to the main part of the fucking dumb that this fucker is putting out here, which could leave this potential to sell its content overseas. Yeah, yeah, if Japan listened to this fucking retard, yeah, at this point, I don't know what to tell you, man. It's either just going to the past content. If they are going to remove what makes them interesting in the first place, their uniqueness. But while this shit doesn't stop here because while they are pushing all of that investment, they are just enslaving these Japanese animators, the actual powerhouse of that industry. And I was surprised that they were receiving subsidies, but look at this. Anime creators received 0.0% of Japanese government entertainment industry subsidies in 2024, official documents show. Yeah, that was when the leftists were reigning in Japan. The LDP, Fumio Kishida, and his successor. Documents released by Japan's MIRI indicate that out of subsidies aimed at the content industry in 2024, a shockingly small portion went towards animators. To this day, man, we know that Japanese animators are still overworked to death in humane environments, in humane demands from the corporators, managers, CTOs, and CEOs. Those are the ones milking the paycheck. They don't put the investment where it actually should, or at least encourage more animators to keep themselves into the anime industry because we also have heard over the course of the years that they are working now on China. From gacha games to even animations to content, despite that you know how bitchy China tends to be when you mention Taiwan. But even despite that, Japanese say, you know what, fuck this because I need the money. I'm not going to make it the next week or even the next day. I cannot pay my bills with this. I cannot eat. It's the match of reality. It's like, yeah, this is just pure corporate greed from all of those managers, all those CEOs, man. And if they were heavily relying all this time on government subsidies to increase their dealings with overseas companies like Netflix, like Disney, all the money, man, like they were making. Oh yeah, even they were short term, so they were expecting all the time to be receive those subsidies. I think these fuckers had the subsidies for granted, man. Look, I was hearing even some topics like this, especially coming out from Argentina when it comes to politics, and I have to bring that example because subsidies is just taxpayer money, and if you search for some stories of Argentina, they were subsidizing a lot of stupid shit, and just like as much as many other governments. And also like what we have covered up this channel with woke DI garbage dog shit like Dustborn, all the DEI we have seen, Ruluted, man, and that fucking lesbian night. Subsidies from the taxpayer. And don't get me wrong, man, like when it comes to anime and content, yeah, we have seen how Japan has delivered, and for the most part, they haven't participated. Well, they have done just created woke anime in mindset. I mean, some mangakas and creators went full retard, or even with the gaming industry like Ichiwatari, like we have claimed. And and the thing is, uh, you are receive you are receiving subsidies for the entertainment industry when that shit should be sustainable in the first place. Unless it is top subsidies are designed for like bringing new talent. But look at this. I'm just jumping to ahead of this article. So, with content like anime and video games becoming an increasingly important driver of Japan's economy, the government has in recent years been expanding its support initiatives for the entertainment industry. This includes monetary subsidies aimed at improving working conditions and helping companies localize and publish their content overseas. They are receiving money to hire foreign invaders from companies like Netflix, Crunchyroll, with Sony being the most notorious example. Man, yeah, yeah, I perceived it that something is fucking shitty, a shitty smell, coming out of these subsidies. This includes monetary subsidies. Yeah, we read that, man. Let's continue. And more recently, even grants aimed at indie developers. However, it's been revealed that the frontline staff who actually create anime, manga, and games are receiving a shockingly small percentage of the money. According to MacMix, based on materials published by Japan's Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry, MERI, early this year the domestic entertainment industry received 6.77 billion yen in subsidies, about 42.5 million US dollars in 2024. However, 54.9% of this total went towards the live action industry, with only 12.6% and 10.7% being allocated to anime and games respectively. Live action, man. What are they trying to do? Big Hollywood? Suggesting a significant bias. Not only that, but when looking at a breakdown with the anime industry, the subsidies primarily went towards promotion, localization, and distribution. We have seen wokeness being shown in the localization of anime and video games. You're telling me that those Japanese companies inside Japan, I'm being redundant here, received subsidies for do the localization themselves, but instead they went and got themselves DEI hires, looking at Squeenix, looking at Banco, looking at Crapcon. And Squeenix, going back to those, they also have an editorial. They publish manga. Uh, Soini also doing a lot of revisionism. Yeah, this kind of pisses me off, man, because you can see the pattern. Like, wait a minute, you received money to do this yourself, but instead you went and received more money and hired foreigners. Or maybe that was the design you were using it to just localize it to satisfy the investors that we were covering in the previous article. This is shit. This is shit. Listen this. With other creators receiving 0.0%, this means there was barely any government support trickling down directly to anime production staff. In the game industry, the percentage was somewhat higher at 1.4%. And I have to wonder in which part actually are indie, are not some corpus managing that money like a middleman to create a quote unquote indie studio. Just like what happened with the Ritters at Highgard. On the flip side, Mary doesn't seem aware that this is an issue, and the ministry documents indicate that the EASE is considering introducing direct support for creators. However, as MacMix points out, there is concern about whether the government officials have sufficient understanding of how the industry and its frontline works in the first place. Dude, we know, but also I have to say, you could be sustainable years ago, but they decided not to. Because again, the way how the licensing distribution works is, you know, the main houses are doing money in Japan. Then some foreigner comes in offering you the service to distribute your stuff overseas, but they're going to pay you an amount of money that is not going to change for the amount of money they're going to make overseas. I already explained it many times, but people refuse to believe how it works when it comes to these licensing agreements these boomer ass corporates do at the expenses of their animators because let's face it, man, they think they have their animators for granted. And also we have covered how there is directors just kneecapping the creativity and expression that Japan has been carrying themselves for years. This is something that even I talked to one of my friends. I don't think we're ever going to see an anime like Great Teacher Onizuka, and that's saying a lot. That's it, man. Thanks for watching. Please take care.